What an asshole!
Podcasting from Basshole Studios in Hollywood, California.
Yo, what time is it?
You're listening to I'm a Basshole with Doug Bass. We've all been one.
He's an asshole.
So let's laugh about it. Now, here's your host, Doug Bass.
What's up, Bassholes? Welcome back to the Basshole Podcast. I'm Doug Bass. Our next guest on the show is comedian Brittany Brave. Brittany's here from Miami. Mm-hmm. Welcome to LA. You've been here for what, like 2 weeks or something like that?
Over a week at this point.
Over a week, yeah.
I'm ready to go home.
Are you?
Yeah.
Now, you're from New York originally, right?
I am, yeah.
What part of New York are you from?
Jersey.
Are you?
Yeah.
That's where I'm from.
Are you really? What county?
Essex County.
Bergen.
Oh, my God. My mom grew up in Bergen County. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm from Bergen County originally.
That's the one state where people can say what county. Like, I feel like any other state, they never ask, like, what county.
That's really true.
Right?
Yeah, there's also, like, a bunch of cities in New Jersey that pop up that nobody, like, you could live there your entire life, move around the state. You could be, like, totally New Jersey, like submerged, and you will still meet someone, and you're like, what city are you from in New Jersey? And they're like, Knickerbocker, New Jersey.
And you have no idea where it is.
Pumpernickel, New Jersey.
What city are you from?
I mean, I was technically born in Belleville because that's where Claremont Hospital is.
All right, see, I've heard of Belleville. I know
Okay,
it is, yeah.
so I don't really identify with being from Belleville because it's kind of a shithole, and the hospital just happened to be there. And also the hospital gave my mom a staph infection, so fuck Belleville.
That's horrible.
Horrible, yeah.
Jesus.
So I guess, like, I mean, I lived in Lyndhurst, so I have family in East Rutherford.
All
I
right,
also have family in, like, Cranford, Toms River, Brick, Bayville.
I know all those places. East
Yeah.
Rutherford, Lyndhurst. My sister lived in Lyndhurst for a little while. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm from Cedar Grove.
I know Cedar Grove. Cedar
You've heard of
Grove's,
that?
that's nice.
It's a little nice.
Now you're bragging.
It's a little Republican. I'll just say that. It's
Well,
a
that's
little-
Jersey, right?
Yeah, I know. I mean, my parents still live there. My sister lives there, but yeah.
Nice.
Essex County, Jersey girl. And then you moved to Miami.
And then, well, I grew up in Miami. So my parents honeymooned in Miami, and then my dad very serendipitously got a job in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were like, well, whatever, we're young, wild and free. We can go live in Miami.
Why not?
And so I was born in Jersey, but like, and once I was a couple months old, they brought me back down to their home in Miami. So
Okay.
the formative years of like school and
then
getting fingered by DJs and all that really important stuff.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's Keita. Yeah. That'll.
Keita's
you
awake
know,
now.
I
He's like,
became-
what? Oh, what's going on?
I became a woman in Miami, some would say.
So how long did you live? Did you live in New York, Jersey, New York for a while before going back to Miami, or no?
I literally just had
grew up in Miami.
I grew up in Miami, so I just had my first couple of months in New Jersey and New York,
Okay.
and then primarily grew up in Miami. Kendall, if anybody knows Miami. Kendall's like the burbs of Miami, but it's where all the greats come out of. Like Pitbull came out of there, A-Rod came out of there.
All right, yeah.
Marcelo Hernandez is from there.
Totally, yeah.
I'm from there.
You're
Not
from there.
for-
Brittany
not
Brave is
for
from there.
Nothing.
Absolutely,
Okay.
yeah.
So yeah, and then I didn't live, but we spent all the holidays and summers in New Jersey and New York. And then I lived there right after college. So to be honest, I identify more with like New York being home than Miami.
Really?
For sure.
Just
For
because
sure.
you go back there for holidays and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you like Miami? How long have you lived there now? Like.
I have now been living there as an adult since the pandemic, like
Okay.
full time.
Yeah.
Probably 2022 full time. 2021 was when I really started, doing the back and forth thing.
Well, it's Florida.
It's Florida, which we don't love.
We don't love. I don't. My parents live in Naples half the year, so I do go to Florida occasionally.
Yeah.
I like Florida, but I don't. Yeah, I don't know. It's very different. It's beautiful parts of
The
it.
best metaphor that I can give you is that Florida is truly like Melania Trump.
Yeah.
And that on the surface, it's like very beautiful.
Yeah.
Like gorgeous beaches
The
and
beaches
climate.
kick everyone's. The beaches here are like all
Best
right.
beaches in the country.
Right,
Totally.
right? I would
Totally.
say so, yeah.
So it's like very aesthetically pleasing, but at its core, it's very corrupt and rotten. So that's why I compare it to
Yeah.
Melania Trump.
That's
like
what's-
I truly do. Like that's the connection.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
that's what I always. I'm like, oh, I'd rather go to the beach in Florida.
Yeah.
But like California is nicer. Like but like I don't know. Yeah, they got good beaches there. But the people that occupy the beaches in Florida, I think, are the problem.
If you want to, 100%,
Yeah.
the people who own the beaches are the problem. Yeah. Great beaches, great place to vacation, good place to visit. Miami's a great place if you got a bachelorette party or a birthday party or you just got divorced and you want to throw it all away.
Right. Just
then Miami's perfect for that. But
Miami, Key West, I've been to. Yeah.
Key West is amazing.
Key West is different. That's like I almost didn't even count that as Florida.
Key West
right?
is amazing.
Yeah.
It's so far out.
It's its own thing.
It's its own thing. It's literally so isolated. You have to travel 3.5 hours on the what is it, 7 Mile Bridge or whatever it is.
Exactly.
So it's literally on the water. And I actually have a bit in my act about Key West, about how like I think that city is proof that America can heal and everybody can get along. Because one street in Key West is like MAGA, USA, gun. I want to, but then then you'll go down one block over and it's like covered in rainbows and it's like, fuck me with that gun.
Right.
Yes.
And then it's like, it's all gay friendly
It's
and everything.
super
it's
gay.
Like,
But it's also like super MAGA at the same time.
It's crazy because it's such a small,
wild.
it's such a small area.
Yeah.
And like you can walk everywhere and like, but yeah, it's like there's so much that it's accomplished
And
like in that little.
I've met real adults who like consider themselves mermaids.
Really?
It's actually fucking crazy. Like
Real
I met like real
Like
women
they have
that
a fin, or they used to have one,
or they have like a performative fin, whatever. I don't know the logistics or the
Yeah.
semantics, but I met like at least a couple women when I was in Key West that they were like, I'm a mermaid. And I was like, I was on theme. I was accidentally an asshole because I kind of was like, yeah, okay.
Sure, yeah.
And I'm Pamela Anderson. Yeah, you know what I mean? And then they were like, no, like I do work with like sea creatures and I help like people who have boat. Like I'm a mermaid in Key
literally.
West. And I was like, oh.
It's like dive in the water.
Dive in the water. Here we go.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Florida's a wild place.
It is wild, yeah.
Yeah.
But we love it for its strange reasons and hate it for probably more reasons.
It's just time to compartmentalize it. That's why I'm moving back to New York. Like
you
I'm
are
like,
going to move back to New York.
Yeah, I'm in
now,
the
did
process.
you start your stand-up comedy career in Miami?
No, in New York.
New York. Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
thank God. I
Yeah.
mean, it would have kind of been cool to start in Miami and start in a market that doesn't matter. Like that's kind of cool because you could really like
You can
fail
really- yeah.
and cut your teeth. But glad I started in New York
Yeah.
because I started amongst literally the best comedians
best.
in the world.
For sure, yeah.
You know, in the toughest scene in the world, the most competition. So then when you go anywhere else after New York or LA or Chicago or whatever one of those big markets are, when you go anywhere else, everyone's like, wow, you're so good.
Absolutely.
You
It's
know?
like,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I started stand-up out here in LA, but yeah, New Jersey, I was like a New York actor, did all that kind of stuff. growing
Oh,
up there.
okay. Are you
But,
still acting?
Yeah, occasionally here and there, you know,
Yeah.
commercial stuff every now and then. But
It's so infuriating. I didn't think there would be an industry more infuriating than comedy, but it is acting. Acting is really annoying.
But you're an actress as well, right? You have a web series
Yeah.
that I watched the first episode, The Disastrous Dating Life of Diane Damone.
Damone.
Damone. That was pretty good. Yeah.
Thanks.
Like you should be on a sitcom for sure. Like you definitely have that.
Say it. Clip
you
it.
have that quality. Yeah. Like
Clip
you're
it.
funny. You know. Yeah. A natural. I would say. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Did
Everything's natural.
Do you audition a lot as an actress?
I don't. I hate
No?
the whole process.
Yeah.
And I think I should act more. I like acting. I actually don't like I don't really have anything against the actual process of acting or stepping into a character
Mm-hmm.
role. I actually really enjoy it. I studied theater. I grew up acting, etc. I think that industry, like, that's why it's more infuriating than comedy is, because the whole process of like self-taping.
It's annoying,
Oh,
especially after a pandemic. Now you got to shoot everything yourself and do all this shit. You know, it's
It's
too
hard.
Much, it's too
And
much.
I even struggle like making videos that brands hire me to do because I'm
Right.
like that act of, and like this is where I both hate and give kudos to influencers.
Mm-hmm.
That act of just staring in your phone and yapping
It's
to nobody.
it's weird.
It's weird and
Yeah.
insane.
I don't know.
It's
like
insane.
I've dabbled
Like-
with that, like that psyche of it too, because like, you know, I do the podcast and stuff, and obviously I like to talk to people and interview them and stuff.
Mm.
But like every now and then I'm like, oh, I should go live on like TikTok or Instagram, and I've done it, and then I sit there and I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to say?
I always think, like,
not that anyone's really watching, but like I should do more lives.
Totally. Totally. And like it's a full-time job. Like I don't like take that away from influencers.
Yeah.
Like it's a full-time job.
Totally.
It is. And I've obviously had to do it myself as a comedian for my own promotion or
Right.
brand deals, like just literally just me and my phone by myself, like acting a sketch out or something. But it's a muscle that feels weird to me. And I think I'm an old soul when it comes to this. I think that's why I'm much more a stand-up than anything else, because I just like being in a room with living, breathing human beings and
Yeah.
like what's their vibe and matching their energy and trying to like figure out what it is they want to. Yeah.
Right. You're playing with the audience. And it's like, as far as the acting stuff goes, it's like, it's been so weird to see like the transition. Like now everyone wants Brittany. They just want you to be you in a movie or a TV show or, whatever.
Yeah.
Stand-up comic Brittany, or Doug or whoever. It's like when I'm acting, it was always like, well, be this character or do, try something different. Now people just want, I want that person.
Well, Jerry Seinfeld has a really great quote about that where he was like, the actor is always dying to be anyone but themselves.
Yeah.
The comedian makes a whole career out of just being themselves.
Just being themselves.
And that's where my relationship with acting is now. Like, I don't want to go out and it's not where I want to put my time.
No.
Let's put it that way.
Same here. I don't want to do it anymore.
I don't want to do it. But I like when roles come to me because somebody knows me or knows my comedy. And that's actually how the web series came. Like the director knew me and knew my comedy. And it happened to align very perfectly with Diane.
Yeah.
And that's why that web series was so beautiful and Kismet.
Yeah, that was great.
Joe Conroy, he's great. He's still based in New York and he's a dear friend. But
and it's like most comics are just playing versions of themselves and they throw a different name on it or whatever.
Like, have you seen English Teacher?
I haven't, but I've seen the billboards. It looks good.
It's phenomenal. Well, I found Brian Jordan Alvarez online because his videos are so fucking funny. He's so talented.
Yeah.
And he's the kind of hilarious, the sketches and characters he does come so naturally that I've showed it to other stand-up friends and they've not liked it. Like they've been like, whatever. Yeah. And I'm like, you're so jealous because he's so naturally funny. Right. Lovingly. Like obviously this is like light playing around, but I followed him and I saw like English Teacher got picked up on FX. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch it. It looks awesome.
And Sean Patton's in it, and Sean Patton plays himself.
Right.
Really.
Yeah.
Really, like,
That's what everyone's
and he's
doing now.
hilarious.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think they're just two different muscles that you choose to flex.
You're listening to comedian Brittany Brave on the Bass Hole Podcast. Just taking a moment out of the interview to talk about our great sponsor, BlueChew. That's right, BlueChew is a tablet that's made here in the USA, and it delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, but it's at a fraction of the cost and in a chewable form, of course. The best part is it's all done online. That means no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at the pharmacy. You can take them anytime, day or night, so you can plan ahead. You can be ready whenever the opportunity arises. Sometimes you don't know when it's going to happen and it strikes you out of nowhere, but you're going to be prepared because you're going to have your BlueChew. That's right. Start the new year off right with BlueChew by your side. There's nothing sexier than confidence, and BlueChew can help give you the confidence where it counts. And we've got a special deal for our audience. You can try BlueChew free and just pay $5 shipping at checkout when you visit BlueChew.com. That's BlueChew.com to receive your first month free. You're going to use the promo code BASSHOLE at checkout, and you're going to get your first month free. BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank BlueChew for sponsoring Bass Hole with Doug Bass. And have a great Happy New Year and get your BlueChew on for the new year. Now back to the interview. Totally, yeah. Now you're also doing a documentary, I was reading. On the Miami stand-up scene, is that correct?
Yeah, or lack thereof.
Or really?
Kidding.
How is the scene? What made you want to do a documentary on the Miami stand-up scene?
I'm going to be really transparent with this answer, and it's not the answer people would want to hear. But I am now, as we're ending production on the documentary, we're really close. We have a couple more people that we want to try to get and include. I am now feeling a little foolish for making the documentary.
Really?
And it's not a travesty, it's not a dramatic thing, but at the time when I had the idea to make a little docu-special time capsule of Miami comedy, we as a city and a scene were really thriving. We were really flourishing. I mean, I think when I really had the idea and started entering pre-production, I was very serendipitously a couple months away from Marcelo getting SNL. And really, he's incredible and like putting SNL and putting Miami on the map. Right. But yeah, at the time when I never thought I would be able to be based in Miami as an adult. And I definitely didn't think I'd be able to be based in Miami as a comedian, for sure. Because I was like, there's nothing to do here. Everyone sucks. Like, I started in New York. I was like, I could never be based here. There's not enough going on. There's no industry, whatever. At the time, when I had the idea to do the doc, there was. And we were in, like, a really good place. And, like, people were thriving. People were relocating down to Miami. Andrew Schultz was there for a little bit. Ricky Velez would spend time there. Yeah. All of a sudden, everybody was kind of, for a brief moment, looking at Miami as an actual contender when it comes to comedy and entertainment. And the reason I say I feel foolish now is because womp womp. You know what I mean? Like
It
2 years
it didn't
later,
happen. Like Austin took that spot. You think? I mean,
Austin
obviously.
absolutely lapped us with that.
Which is
but
inter-
that's a documentary. You tell the story no matter what it is.
Right. Yeah, because you don't know you don't know the ending. You don't know the outcome. It's
Right.
you're just reporting the truth or whatever. Yeah.
Right.
But it does seem weird. Like you would think Miami. One, it's all right. Texas and Florida, they're both states that don't have state tax or whatever. Right?
Yeah.
So like those are attractive for a lot of people, I would say. The beach, Miami, the beach, but Miami's a big entertainment kind of city.
Yeah.
I would say. So Austin, the other way, it's like it's kind of in this bubble of Texas.
Yeah.
It's everything is there. And
Well,
then-
Austin and Miami are very similar in that
Yeah.
sense. Like they're like the reprieve in an otherwise shit show of a state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Because
Yeah.
if you leave Miami, you go north. You got like Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah,
and then,
it quite literally only gets progressively more Republican.
yeah, as you go up, yeah.
And by Republican, I don't even mean that as much in a bad sense as I mean like really really right wing extreme.
Right,
like
right.
I've
The
told
further
abortion
you go
jokes in Tampa, and I heard a guy go like, "Go get my AR-15."
Jesus.
Yeah, or I was in like Boca, and I was like, "Yeah, I drove up from Miami. I live in Miami," and I heard an older guy go like, "Build a wall,"
Yeah,
or
okay.
whatever. So it's.
right.
Believe it or not, as not diverse as Miami is, it's the most diverse in the whole state.
No, I can see that for sure.
Yeah.
But this documentary, is this your first filmmaking attempt or?
Yeah. I dabbled in it a little bit with the web series.
Did you direct those?
No, Joe did.
okay.
Joe Conroy, yeah. I dabbled in it with the web series, like very lightly, like just helping cast it, maybe helping finalize budget, so
Right.
I understood a little bit of the production, very little of the production end of it, but yeah, Delulu artist. Like I've never made a movie.
Yeah.
I've never, and I'm working with Digital Bodega, a production company in New York.
Have you enjoyed? I mean, I know a documentary is like an entirely different thing to direct, and it takes a shitload of time.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy the process of making a film?
No.
No. So you wouldn't.
I'm being
you wouldn't,
totally
you would-
honest.
You wouldn't direct like a feature or something. You think? What about
Maybe.
maybe a feature? 'Cause documentary. I couldn't imagine doing a documentary, like unless I had all the, it's years of your life.
It's
pretty much.
years.
You got to
of
really
your-
be passionate about
It's
the
years
subject.
of your life, and
Yeah.
I've had like dipshit Miami friends who I love, and they know this. Like, be like, "Oh, what's going on? Is that not coming out anymore? Like, is that not even done yet? Is that?"
Well,
and
that's
I'm
what I
like,
mean.
"You fucking idiot! This
people
is
don't-
taking like 4 years."
Yeah, they don't like when you
Yeah.
put on a documentary on Netflix. People are just like, oh, they just made this. It's like that took 5 years to make.
That
probably,
took 5 years
Yeah.
to make, and honestly, the great stories really take sometimes like 10 to 15
Sure,
years. So I guess where we're at now is we're also kind of transitioning it from like a documentary to more like a docu-special.
Got it.
Because at the end of the day, I kept finding myself in these meetings. I would have creative, and my co-producer, Izzy, who founded Digital Bodega, he's awesome, really great cinematographer, but we butt heads a lot because he's like, I want to unpack these stories of these comedians and how this person struggled with their sobriety. This person left to go to LA, this person had kids too early. This person did, and
tracking it all down. Yeah,
because he's coming from a film perspective.
Right.
And I think I realized I want to make a docu-special about Miami. We're not solving a murder. That's what I kept finding myself saying in the meetings. I'm like, this
Right.
isn't some
It's
great...
not Dateline. Yeah.
It's not Dateline,
Yeah.
right? Like, I'm like, I wanted to make something that captured Miami's potential. I wanted to make something that, and this is coming from someone who fucking hates Miami. Loves it, but also fucking hates it.
Right. Love-hate relationship.
Love-hate relationship. I was like, but it's not all bad, and there are really funny comics in Miami, and there is something happening there. So that's where my head was at.
Gotcha.
When I made it. Or
Well,
yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing it when it comes out because I'm
funny.
curious about the Miami scene. I haven't done shows there yet, but it's on my list.
Well, what we're actually pivoting to do, this is the last thing I'll say about it, is going to be a lot about the comedy scene, but obviously that storyline we're finding is very cyclical and repetitive. So it's like, well, how many times are we going to
Right.
essentially have the same plot line?
Got it.
Well, I think it's going to be really cool to watch if you've ever had any curiosity about Miami in general as a city.
Sure. Yeah.
Because you'll recognize a lot of known people in that documentary, like people from Miami. Like Billy Corbin makes an appearance. A couple like Yes Jules is a dear friend of mine. She's really prominent in Miami and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and beyond, obviously, but. I think that's going to be, it'll be an interesting watch for people who just want to see how a city was made.
Sure.
And why a city is the way it is.
Got it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like between the drug stories of Miami, how that was built, and
Yeah.
you know, I mean, there's so much interesting history, I would say, to that city. You know, it's its own thing.
The partying kills it,
The
too.
partying, yeah.
Yeah, because it's actually like a very cool city, but it just gets used for cocaine and fake tits.
It's I had a friend
In
that
bottle
lived there.
service,
Yeah.
yeah.
My friend went to college there at Miami U, and then now he lives here. And he would always just be like, "Yeah, it's like LA, but it's like, you know, warmer and humidity and drugs and similar in ways, but very different."
It gets compared to LA.
Yeah.
In the a lot of fake people inhabit it.
Yeah.
That's what I hear.
Yeah.
But LA, you'll still find real talent. In Miami,
Sure,
it's
yeah.
questionable.
Well, I saw you at the Improv the other night. Super funny set.
Thank you.
And I always ask, you know, guests that come on. I mean, you've got a lot of energy as a comedian, I would say. You know, and it's and you're very tiny.
Yeah.
So I always like that combination as far as like, oh, she's short, but you got the energy and it brings the laughs to the crowd.
Yeah, the energy needs more body mass to encompass. It's like we don't have enough legs and arms. Yeah.
No, you're doing fine. You're doing fine. But I always ask the guests that come on. This is the Bassel Show. So is there a funny time or a moment that you were an asshole that you might want to share?
Every day of my fucking waking life.
Oh, good, because everyone is always like hesitant about talking about this sometimes.
I'm a huge asshole. And I at least know how to define when it's intentional.
But you're proud of it.
No. You know, I at least can tell you when I know it's intentional, and
Yeah.
then I can tell you when I'm like, oopsies.
Right.
Like, I remember, I have a story, I guess, kind of. I used to work in the music business, and I was at Columbia Records and Sony and in New York way prior to starting stand-up and doing this full-time. I went from corporate to comedy big
Got
time.
it.
But I remember working a premiere, and I was a dipshit. I was, like, fresh out of college, and I worked some premiere at some fancy place in New York. I was like sick as a dog and hungover, but I had to do it for my job or whatever.
yeah.
And a bunch of famous people were walking in, and then all of a sudden I was so checked out and not on my game and not doing my job. And I look up from the table, and Robert De Niro is in front of me. And I'm Italian, so Robert De Niro is like a god
Sure, yeah.
to my father, to my family. Like, so this was like,
It's a big deal.
yeah, like seeing the lights, you know, I was like, and I looked up, I was like, I know this guy. Holy, no way. What? Like, I remembered seeing, and he goes, it's brief, but he goes, did you see my wife? Did my wife walk inside? And I had a mouthful of peanut M&Ms from the open snack table.
Yeah.
And I looked Robert De Niro in the face, and I said, I don't know your wife. Like, I didn't even, like, and he went, and he looked at me, and he literally was like,
All right, kid. Yeah.
okay. And, like, walked past me, and it's, like, so, it was, like, a brief moment, but, like, what a dumbass asshole moment.
Well, one, you don't know his wife, right? So
No, but I also, she was there, and I
Right.
don't follow celebrity gossip, but she
Right.
walked right past me.
but like it's also
Yeah.
I mean, all right, so you got the mouthful of M&Ms, whatever. You should have eaten them or whatever. But it's almost like I feel like he was a little bit of an asshole too, because it's like,
Sure.
do you know my wife? Like
Do you know who I am?
Like-
kind of, yeah.
yeah, I know who you are, but like that doesn't mean I know who the fuck
I
your
was like,
wife
sir,
is.
I also barely know who you are. You aged.
Right. Yeah, after that
I looked up, I was like, I know this guy, right?
after Meet the Fockers 3
shit.
or whatever, I was
Right.
like, all right, I've
Love
lost
him.
respect for you.
Incredible
No,
actor.
yeah,
Italian
exactly.
brother.
Yeah,
I love you,
I'm
but-
Italian too, so he's a god. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is kind of like assuming that you know him, but you know who his wife is. Like, I don't know who his wife is.
He's like, my wife went inside, right? Like, we
Right.
were just two friends, and I was
Sure.
like such a fresh out of college dipshit. And I was like, I don't know who your wife is.
is that one of like the
was like-
first celebrities you would say that you've encountered or met like at that age?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's up there.
I would say like, I don't know, when you meet like your first big celebrity as like a kid or college or whenever, you know, like it is a little, it's like, oh, like that person's real. It's like,
Yeah,
you
for
know, it's a
sure.
little shocking, I would say. Now, like, you know, I meet people all the time. So it's like, all right.
Well,
fine,
now
whatever.
everybody's a celebrity.
Now everyone's TikTokers are like, oh look, there's the TikTok
Yeah.
jerk or whatever. But yeah, when you meet like an iconic person like a De Niro or like you know anyone that's like that, it's like I remember I met Harrison Ford when I was in high school, freshman in high school. He was shooting a movie in New Jersey.
Yeah.
And my friend worked for the New Jersey Film Commission, and he let us go in on the set.
Crazy that New Jersey has a film commission.
They film so many movies in New Jersey.
Are they all porn?
Porn? No.
I'm kidding.
I mean, well, that's what
It's
New
just funny
Jersey's the
'cause
birth of filmmaking.
Film is so highbrow.
Yeah.
Well, not all of it,
Not all of
obviously.
it.
And then I look at my home state of New Jersey, and I'm like, they have a film
That's
commission?
where movies were invented. New Jersey.
Apparently. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I went there and we hung out on the set as like a 14-year-old or whatever. And I remember going up to Harrison Ford at the end of the shooting day, asking for a photo or whatever. And he was like, "Not now, kid." And we were like, what an asshole.
Yeah. That's interesting. I see both sides to that.
Yeah.
So.
That was the only time I've ever asked for like a photo when I was like a kid,
Yeah, and you didn't know anybody. You know, it comes from a good place. So it's like, and now that I have like a little semblance of a following or whatever, I mean, it happens definitely in Miami more than any other place because Miami is a smaller market. Mm-hmm. So if you've had any success, been on the radio, been on TV, been a big comedian, worked hard as a comedian down there, you will get recognized.
Yeah.
I have a theory that works against us because it actually contributes to a lot of the Miami comedian egos sometimes. And you're like, you might be shit in this, in these city lines, but relax. Like
once you leave that bubble.
Once you leave, you're shit again. You're a piece of shit again. But, and I've been approached a couple times, like after shows or in Miami and stuff. That's always interesting to me because I can see the one side of like, as a human being and an artist, and I've had very weird, borderline uncomfortable encounters with people after shows. Like people just feel like they know you, which is like nice, but I've had women like grab my tits.
That's crazy.
Like people just pick you up.
Oh,
they're just like, they're really weird. They followed me and my friends out of the venue and followed us to the restaurant after.
They're waiting for you after you get off stage.
Yeah, and I'm not famous. Yeah, and it's like crazy.
Apparently you are. I mean, but like you got. I mean, you're selling merch or whatever you do after the show. So it's like that's all part of it. So it's like you want to engage with the fans. You want to sell merch.
Yeah.
You want to say hi, take photos, whatever.
And
But if it gets out of control at that point, it's like you might need like the club manager or bouncer. Or
totally. Or like when some people from the show have like, and I do like hanging out with people after shows. Like I want to say that. Like I really do. Like if the vibe is right and they seem chill and cool, like absolutely. If we're all gonna go get a drink, why don't we get it together? But there's also some nights I don't want to do that, or I just want to
go home,
break away, or I just want to go home or whatever. And like so I can understand on the one side wanting to respect your boundaries and set those in place. But the thing about the celebrity that they forget people don't know, like for like Harrison Ford to kind of be like, obviously not now.
Yeah.
It's not obvious to someone who doesn't do what he does.
Well, yeah, exactly. And that was the thing. Like I knew as a 14-year-old at that point, I'm like, we're going to ask, but we're going to wait till the end of the day. Like the shooting is done. Like they were just hanging out. They were leaving. This is the time to do it. I'm not going to fucking in the middle of a take. I'm not going to be like, hey,
Right.
No, you respectfully do it at the end of the day. And like it would have taken 1 second. And
Right.
That was it.
Like on my Hollywood improv show on Friday, I was like, I brought some friends and industry both like over to the bar next door, and we all were hanging out, and then there was like one guy in the audience who was kind of annoying during my set. I had fun with him, but the entire time I was in conversations with people I knew and wanted to catch up with, he constantly was just like, I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you. And I was like, sir, I don't know you. And I'm like with friends in industry right now, like hang on, like yeah. And again, I'm not famous.
Do you get heckled a lot on stage?
I always get heckled.
Always, yeah.
But I take it as a compliment. I think people like feel connected to me during my sets. I really do take it as a compliment because they want to talk to me. I've had, even last night I did a set in Echo Park, and this like older guy in the corner, gay? I don't even know if he was gay or not, but like halfway through my set, he was just like, I know, don't I know it? Like blah, 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 like whatever. So I don't really consider that heckling. I actually like when that happens.
Yeah, I would say like the lines between heckling and then there's crowd work and then your written material and stuff.
Yeah.
The lines are getting like crossed more now than ever, I would say, because a lot of people are doing crowd work. Do you do a lot of crowd work?
I love crowd work.
Okay, so like the people that love to do it, or there's the people that hate doing it. And then, some people just do it.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a mix of everything. And sometimes audiences, they see, like a Matt Rife doing crowd work special. They might go to a show and be like, oh, this is what it is now.
Oh, that's totally what it is.
Yeah.
So, well, it's not even only Matt. It's just like all over the internet. They see crowd work.
Yeah.
And I also just think it's a weird time, and people are getting like way too drunk at shows, and they think it's okay. 9 times out of 10, I don't care. Heckle me, talk to me. I've done enough improv to where I can handle it.
Right.
And I'll use you. I'll make you a part of the set, whatever. And then there's like some counterproductive heckling. Like I've had in like Miami, where every joke somebody was interrupting it, and I was like, okay, now this is annoying. Like now I can't even like move forward through my set.
When it becomes that, and then it's hard for you to retract and go back and where were you and all that.
Yeah,
like
totally.
Yeah.
Well, I think I do crowd work, and I really do love it, and I love it as a tool. So I almost can't complain, because I do think sometimes people see me live and they're like, oh, she loves talking to us. And I do. But I don't know. You got to read the room a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, I understand.
As an audience
that.
member,
Yeah,
you have to read the room.
I see you got some. Are those friendship bracelets you have on there? What are those?
These are all, they're like kind of badass friendship bracelets.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if they were like Taylor Swift friendship bracelets.
I hate her.
Okay.
Famously.
I was like, they're badass friendship
I
bracelets.
respect her. She's successful. Good
Right.
for her. Whatever. But
Right.
I'm not a fan. But no, a fan made this for me.
Okay, they're fan bracelets.
Yeah, some of them
That's cool.
this one says I have a secret, and that's like my big closer in my hour, and
Mm-hmm.
a fan made that. I have a joke about being a cunt, so somebody made cunty.
That's nice.
Yeah, some of these are domestic violence themed, because I'm like a big advocate for that as well too. So they are, but they all have
They all have a special meaning.
They have a special meaning. Yeah, like the tattoos, believe it or not. They all
How many tattoos you got?
You
don't even know. See, you don't even know, do you?
16
16.
at this point.
With a question.
Here. Who knows?
Who knows? You lose track after a while.
Yeah.
Well, Brittany Brave, I want to thank you for coming on the
Thanks for
Bracelets
having
show.
me.
You're going to be, Laugh After Dark in Vegas is coming up, right? Are you doing that?
I'm probably doing it.
Probably doing
yeah,
it.
I
Okay.
am
What-
headlining at New York Comedy Festival.
All right.
November 14th. Have my own show. And then I'm headlining in Miami on the 23rd, November 23rd. And I'm on tour, so.
Yeah. So catch Brittany Brave wherever she's performing near
Yes.
your local city. Brittany, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thank you. You
It
can
was
have the
great
rest of
meeting
my
you.
McDonald's
Oh,
DoorDash
yeah.
French fries.
Perfect.
As
Stale
an I'm
fries. I
sorry
love
for
it.
being so late. I'm
you're
tired.
good.
I want to go home.
Brittany Brave, you guys. Remember, folks, don't be a basshole, but if you are, laugh about it. Ciao.
You've been listening to I'm a Basshole with Doug Bass. Follow us on Instagram at Basshole Show. Think you deserve to be on the show? Email us at contact@bassholeshow.com and visit our website at www.bassholeshow.com and get the latest information. Subscribe on Spotify or wherever you get your podcast fix. And don't miss the full videos on YouTube. Remember, don't be a basshole, but if you are, laugh about it. We'll see you next time.